sosial, tapi lebih ke main games dari belakang. Itu dia tentang Agent Viper. Apakah agent ini sesuai dengan kepribadian kamu? Kalau iya, ayo pick Agent Viper.
Trial. 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 trial, 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 trial,
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. Welcome our speaker and
Trial.
panelists. This is a virtual event, social media optimization for personal branding. My name is Nadifarizkita Agustina, and I will be your MC and also moderator in
Trial.
this session. Before we get started, I would like to read the house rule etiquette in this forum. First, the entire
Trial.
webinar activity in this forum is being recorded. Please turn off your microphone when you are not talking, and participants are requested to not interrupt the speaker when the speakers are delivering the material. And if you have any question while speaker doing presentation, you can leave your question by writing on the chat box or wait until the presentation ends. Then you may have the chance to ask your question directly by turning your microphone on in the Q&A session later on. Alright,
Trial.
in this virtual event, we have two speakers here. There are two amazing speakers. The first one is Miss
trial,
Alvelia Nungki, and the second one there is Mr. Jason Kanev. And the two speakers have already in this room with us this morning.
Trial.
Or maybe for Mr. Jason, it's not morning, maybe this evening. Alright, hello, Miss Alve and Mr. Jason
Trial.
Kanev. How are you?
Morning, Anifa. I'm great. Thank you very much. You look so pretty today.
Thank you so much, Miss. You're so pretty too. And also hello
Trial.
to Mr. Jason Kanev. Yes, thank you so much for giving the chance for us to hear your material about today's event.
trial,
All right, we will get to know our speakers, but before that, let's
Trial.
get started with a welcoming speech. Before we get started to the main session, we will hear the welcome speech by
trial,
Applied English Study Program representative to Mr. Ahmad Muam. Time is on your side.
trial,
Okay, thank you, Nativa. So, good morning, everyone. So, I'd like to say that I am so grateful and happy this morning to have such a valuable opportunity.
Trial.
We are going to learn a lot about the social media, how to brand ourselves, how to make a good image of ourselves. Later on with Mr. Jason and also Ms. Alvelia.
trial,
My name is Ahmad Muam on behalf of the study program, Bahasa
Trial.
Inggris and English study programs, and I would like to thank for everyone for joining this
trial,
valuable opportunity, and also I would like to welcome Ms. Alvelia and also Mr. Jason as our speakers this morning, who already took out their valuable
Trial.
time. Later on, we are going to learn a lot from them. And everyone, so probably coming from the
Trial.
students from senior high schools and also SMK, yeah, and also MA for all of you. And also we have
Trial.
special guest this morning, Miss Endang. So good morning. So Miss Wati, and some of you, so happy. All of the lecturers from the study program also joined us this morning.
Trial.
Then I also would like to offer my regards to everyone who already support this
Trial.
webinar, everyone in this room, and also all of the students who already support to the success of this event this morning, who already probably not joining us in this studio this morning. Yeah.
Trial.
We know that actually living in this era, we are living in a digital age, in digital world. We have a lot of opportunities, opportunities in the digital world, and also we also have some challenges actually. We believe that there are people saying that actually, for example, it's kind of disinhibition effect. A lot of people feel to show up in the digital world in the right way, that they have problems in how to back their self, how to pick a good image of themselves. They even do not know how to separate between how to live in a digital world and also how to separate it with living in a real one. Yeah, that's also a problem. We know that actually we need the digital a lot to support our existence, to in a real career for sure. A lot of the companies usually before getting a new employees, they're going to check the social media of the prospective applicants for sure. So, because of these reasons, probably we are going to learn a lot from Mr. Jason, also Ms. Alve, how we utilize the social media and anything related to it to support us to be a successful person later on, to live in a digital world and also probably support our careers. Yeah. Then what else that make this kind of things, how to create an image, how to live in digital world and anything. This is something that we learn in the 4 bahasa Inggris, not only related to the social media, we also learn about how to create a good writings, copywritings, and also to be public relation officers, how to do a media relation or anything related to the image. I believe that talking about the digital is closely related to what we are learning at study programs, and I believe that it will be very important and going to be more and more important in the future for all of the students who are already in the study program and probably all of the prospective students who are going to join us this year. Yeah. Probably that's something that I can't say this morning. For the more details, for everything related to the optimizations of social media, then we are going to learn a lot from Miss Alve and Mr. Jason. So I would say good morning, everyone. So very happy to see you, and we are going to learn together this morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Mr. Mu'an, for delivering the welcome speech. I hope everyone is doing fine and healthy, and also to be more encouraged to hear the presentation from our 2 speakers today. All right, everyone. Well, our topic today is a social media optimization for personal branding. Well, we know that the advancement of technology has altered the way people communicate with each other. And interestingly, nowadays, branding is not exclusively for a product or a company, but people can also do branding activities themselves, called personal branding. Well, let's hear more about this interesting topic and also something that relatable with us in this digital era and the advancement of technology from our speaker. All right. So this virtual event will be divided into 2 sessions for the presentations. The first session will cover materials related to digital literacy and the importance of social media. That will be delivered by Ms. Alve, and in this session, the materials will be presented to raise the awareness of the target audience as active social media users for us, including me, myself, about the digital footprints and the content to be posted on our social media accounts. Meanwhile, the second sessions will be delivered by Mr. Jason Kanev. Will focus on the step-by-step explanation of how to build personal branding in social media. And this session is expected that we can easily follow the steps and start to implement them in our own social media account. All right. Before Miss Alfe deliver the material as the MC and also moderator, I would like to introduce to you and also to read the brief curriculum vitae of our speaker. So, everyone, Miss Alvelia Nungki Permatasari is a lecturer in Applied English, in Bachelor of Applied English at Vocational College, Universitas Gadjah Mada. And Miss Alse also got the bachelor and also the master degree in Universitas Gadjah Mada. And there are several publications that Ms. Alfe has published, including the digital public relations, that trends and required skills. And also there are several lists of conferences and presentations. And also there are lists of intellectual property rights. And for the work experience, besides being a lecturer, Ms. Alpe also previously have become an English tutor from 2012 until 2018. Okay, I think for the details, maybe Ms. Alpe can share it later on during the presentation or Q&A session. I think everyone in here is ready to hear the presentation. To Ms. Alpe, you can maybe share your PowerPoint material. The time is on your side.
Okay, thank you Nadifa for a brief introduction. Yeah, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, students and colleagues. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me today. I'm very glad to share you about what my knowledge, my little knowledge about social media and how to maximize them. I mean, how to use it appropriately. Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me share my screen. Hopefully it's there now.
Yes, miss, we can see yours.
Okay, thank you. So, I would like to call my session, it's about digital preparation before we do some personal branding, yeah, with for the details about personal branding. So I believe Mr. Jason can help us with that. So it's more on the digital preparation for self-branding. Okay, so welcome aboard. My name is Alfilia Nuki. Everyone call me Alfie, I think. And I've been here as a lecturer of Applied English program since 2017 until now. And what to discuss? So before we get to know what to brand ourselves in social media, I believe that there are some considerations that we need to have about being present in the internet. Okay, so I believe everyone is now have some little part of themselves presenting in the internet. So we exist there. So what to discuss today, I would like to point out several things. First one is social media. And then the second one would be followed by digital footprint. And the third one, it's more on the considerations, consideration what to post in our social media. Okay, but before that, I would like to invite you to join this little survey. I will put the link on the chat there. So I will give you guys like 3 minutes to fill in the small survey. Thank you very much. So it's available on the chat, yeah.
trial, trial,
All right, for the participants,
trial,
let's fill the survey here. A
Okay,
small
I have
survey.
one response already. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the others. Yeah, two now.
trial,
Ya, kepada teman-teman yang belum mengisi survei, mungkin bisa langsung saja diklik linknya yang ada di chat box.
trial, trial,
Nadifa, can you see the results of the survey?
Yes, Miss.
trial,
Okay, cool. Thank you. Wow, so most of you have three
trial,
social medias. Yeah, more than three. Impressive. See, none of you,
trial,
what is it? Everyone has social media. At least two. Okay. And mostly have three. Wow.
trial, trial,
So this shows that I can see, I can
Trial.
say that, if I may say, yeah, if I may say, I can, there are, we are so active in the internet, right? Especially through social
Trial.
media, since we have most of ourselves, around 11 out of 16 people, have more than three social media. I myself,
trial,
well, I'm also a part of this group, yeah, since well,
Trial.
I have Friendster back then when I was a student, and then Facebook, and then what
trial,
else? Twitter, yeah, and there also, and then
trial,
back then we have Path. Do you guys still remember anyone also joined that
Trial.
social media Path? And then Instagram, of course, and then what else?
trial,
TikTok, yeah, the newest. YouTube, perhaps. So yeah,
Trial.
six. That which I remember. I don't know if I have any other than that. And then what kind of information do you share on your social media? You share that, well, personal life around
trial,
30%, yeah, and then professional work. Wow, nice. And then a little bit of this and that. So it's like a mixed up, yeah, between everything. Sometimes you post about your personal life. Sometimes you
Trial.
post about your work as a student, perhaps, or as a volunteer. So your activity in general.
Trial.
And then if you're interested in some kind of things like art, you post your artwork. Or if you are part of certain organization, you can
trial,
post some campaign. But I don't think anyone choose this one. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of this and that. Okay, and that's how other people can see
Trial.
about yourself through those platforms. Yeah. What's your account status? Mostly public. Okay. Only 30 something percent are private,
trial,
and some has business account. Okay, so each of this status has their own plus and minus. Yeah, so
trial,
for public, anyone, like anyone in the world can see your profile. It can be your family, it can be your friends, it can be strangers, it can be your future employers,
trial,
it can be, well, all of them can see you in your social media. Okay, and for private, perhaps for Instagram, it's only your followers or something like that. Yeah, someone that you allow them
trial,
to see. what's going on about you in your social media, something that you post in your social media. For business, now it's for business matter. And do you run multiple accounts in your social media? This one is also interesting. So 80 more percent has more than one account in one particular social media. Okay, perhaps you have your own reasons, yeah, but only small number run only one account in social media. Okay, interesting. What do you feel when you see your post from 5 years ago? I would be in this part. Oh God, why? So it's like, well, everyone develops. Yeah, perhaps we cannot stand ourselves back then when we are still young. I mean, for us especially, and for the more mature people, they see themselves when they are in the development stage. So yeah, it's like, okay, that's how we should we learn today. So yes, I was not that good in in managing my social media back then, but from now on I start to make it better. So we should manage how we represent ourselves in internet. Okay, because why? Because of several things. So from those numbers, I want to give you some insights, yeah, about numbers here. Like, so yes, it's about 50 something percent people around the world. No, 60 something percent people around the world use mobile phones today, and more than 50% are internet users. And from the number of the population, 50 something percent are active social media users like us. Yeah. And then in Indonesia itself, in our country, so 60 something percent are active social media users, while the internet users are more than 70%. Okay? And then this is interesting since YouTube nowadays reached the first most used social media platforms in Indonesia, followed by WhatsApp and Instagram, Facebook, and so on. It's a bit there's a bit of change in here. So last year, Facebook was the third number, followed by Instagram and Twitter and so on. That's for some background, yeah, to give you some background, how many users. Now, why we use social media? So there are pros and cons in using social media. This is only some points that I can collect, yeah, that I can show you. Perhaps more than this, there are more benefits and challenges or disadvantages of using social media that you can think about. But first of all, let's talk about connectivity. So the biggest advantage, the dream of the social media founders like Facebook, Instagram, and so on, and others, it's like they want to connect people regardless of their place, time, yeah, their places and time. So anyone in the world can connect. Okay, and we can make friends. We can by using social media, we can reunite perhaps with our long lost family or other people also, and then someone can get organ donor from social media, a blood donor from social media. So yes, it connects us. Back then, before social media, perhaps it would be more challenging. Okay, and it also can support collaboration. Collaboration, why? Especially for students, yeah, especially for students, for those who feel awkward to express themselves in public, that they don't have the courage, perhaps we don't have any courage yet to tell others about your ideas, about how you disagree about something. This could help you. So through social media, you can just write without threatening your own page, yeah, and then with less some kind of challenge, something like that. You can feel comfortable, and it can also support unlimited collaboration. You can collaborate. Students from Indonesia can collaborate with students from across the world, any countries in the world, just using social media. You can start a campaign and something like that. Yeah, and then it also provides you with lots of information, like we can see in our social media feed. Yeah, for example, latest updates around the world. It depends on how who you follow and something like that. If you follow some news platforms, for example, you can get the latest updates around the world. Just one click, in just one click. And then it, during pandemic also, it support us in distance learning. So perhaps some of your teachers or let's say your group, study group, you use social media for that. So it can be used also for those kinds of purpose. And then for learning, yeah, like I mentioned before, lots of helps in social media. If you want to improve your English skills, you can follow in Instagram, for example. You can follow like English learning support accounts. Like if you want to improve your TOEFL score, if you want to improve your not only language, yeah, art or cooking skill or others, any kind of things. You can use social media for that. And then for entertainment, of course, to release stress, yeah, we can connect to people. We can just stay away from our work, from our duties for a moment by using social media. But remember, not too much. Because why? Because it can like leads to the cons. See, like addiction, for example. It can cause you some addiction. Using social media, it can distract you from your duties, from your study, and then you become difficult to focus during lessons because you only have a limited concentration span. See, social media runs really fast. People post. There are thousands, even millions of posts, new posts every second, and we kind of used to do that, and it's difficult. It makes it difficult to concentrate. So that's something we should be aware of. And then you can waste your time scrolling feeds. So perhaps you can relate, yeah. I will do my task today. Starting at 8, I will wake up early. I will and blah blah blah, doing my personal thing, and then start working with my laptop. And then boom, okay, I think there's a notification. I will see the notification, and then 2 hours later, 3 hours later. So those kind of addiction, and then you end up doing nothing. So be aware of that, and then it can cause some desocialization. What is a desocialization? Yes, social media helps to help you to connect with other people who are distant, who are far away from you, but somehow it can negatively impact the relationship, your relationship with your closest ones, with your family, for example. You're busy scrolling your phone, and you forgot your family. So if you use that a lot, then that could happen also. And cyberbullying, perhaps you are already aware of this, yeah?
trial,
Social media might let people be anonymous. So you can just create second, third, fourth, fifth account with some random let's say
trial,
name, for example, and this make people feel that it is okay to do negative things,
trial,
to hurt people with messages, with comments, and something like that. And somehow it can cause anxiety, depression, stress, and other mental problems.
trial,
Yeah, if you are aware, more and more people suffer from mental illness nowadays. It's not that many back then. Perhaps this is also caused by
trial,
social media, where we can't really place ourselves do what we should do. I mean,
trial,
instead of doing positive things, we tend to perhaps we post something in anger and it can hurt people. So those kind of things we should be aware of. Okay, and then it also
trial,
kind of dangerous because there are many inappropriate content there. So like especially for underage children,
trial,
they are easily exposed to inappropriate content, perhaps intentionally and also unintentionally. Perhaps they saw it from some recommendation, perhaps from ads, perhaps from
trial,
other things. So while using social media, most of the time there will be ads, right? And when those children use gadgets from of their
trial,
parents or their young older sister or older siblings, for example, perhaps those kind of things can
trial,
also be popped up, and then it can be seen by your
trial,
younger siblings, and that's kind of dangerous. Yeah, and then health related issues. So
trial,
another negative thing that can be caused by social media if you are addicted to it is like you would spend
trial,
day and night sitting or laying down in your on your bed, something like that, just scrolling around, facing your smartphone, and there will be not much physical movement, and that can cause
trial,
somehow obesity and other related disease, of course. And then
trial,
if you tend to see screen a lot, the blue light and those
trial,
kind of thing can harm your brain, and can your sleep,
trial,
you will have sleep disorders or something like that, and it will cause many negative consequences. Okay, so be
trial,
aware of that in using social media. Okay, now
trial,
can you imagine that we all here are exist in the internet, and um, we left
trial,
something called digital footprint. Before I continue, I would like to also
trial,
invite you to do another survey. I'm interested and curious about what knowledge do you know so far about digital footprint.
trial,
Would you mind going to this link again? I will give you like 3 minutes to share your thoughts. Wait.
trial,
I will help you with the link.
trial, trial, trial,
All right, everyone, let's fill the small survey regarding the digital footprint.
trial,
Untuk teman-teman
Trial.
mungkin yang baru bergabung bisa langsung mengisi survei tentang digital footprint. Untuk linknya sudah Miss Alve share di kolom chat.
Trial. 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 Trial.
Okay, so some already give their responses. Whatever we posted on
Trial.
social media, yes, that's one of them. And then it's permanent, yes, also. Is trail data that left, okay. And then nothing is truly private. Everything everywhere is
Trial.
stored as data forever. Okay, nice. This data is used in ways we are never really in control of. And then trail data when we are using internet. Okay, there are many kinds of data that is in the form of our digital footprints. Yeah, our data that we create. Data about ourselves.
Trial.
Okay, history of data, the traces of the trail of data. Any other response?
Trial.
It is permanent. Yes, everything we post in the internet is still there, and it can be tracked by other people.
Trial.
Unfortunately and fortunately. Oke, bisa membuat orang jadi terkenal. Bisa ada yang sampai diperkatakan. Oke, good. Dari tahun ke tahun. That's one of them. Data social media, yes, that's one of them. We leave behind using internet and it shaped our reputation. Exactly. It shaped our reputation. Our digital footprint shaped our reputation. Everything we did in digital, just like footprints. Nice.
Trial.
Visible, jejak digital. It is jejak digital. Bahasa Indonesia. Udah mungkin ya. Okay, thank you.
Trial.
Thank you for the responses. So yes,
Trial.
it is the trail that you leave behind, showing who you are, showing who you are in your information. So everything you post, it can be something that you post. It can be also something that others have written about you. And this is only some of the platforms. Yeah, you were there in Facebook. You were there in WhatsApp, in LinkedIn, in Tinder, in Skype, in many things. Even in the games that you download. Even you download it and then you log into your Google account. There, then it's your digital footprint. What kind of games that you like to play? What kind of things that you are interested to? Internet can detect all of them because you leave your trace there, your footprint there. Everything you post will be there forever, forever, like forever. So how exactly? Many of digital enthusiasts already concerned about this, like for a long time. Why? Because like a flip side of the coin, so it can't be, we can take benefits from it, and it can also harm people. So besides you use social media, one thing that you should be concerned is about
Trial.
being present again in digital world. What goes on is in the internet stays there forever, like videos where
Trial.
you are in it, like in stories, in feed, in reels, in everything. It's there forever. Perhaps we
Trial.
forgot about it several days after we posted, but anyone can track that. Anyone
Trial.
in 2050 can track that. So be aware of that, okay? And then blogs, something that you wrote, anything that you wrote. And then photos,
Trial.
of course, yeah. Comments in any kind of platform, in every platform. Let's say YouTube.
Trial.
If you join Reddit, your comments there, your presence in any group,
Trial.
online-based group, it's trackable. And then tweets, website, your visits
Trial.
in what is it? In all of the web that you visit, even though it's
Trial.
yeah, you can track that through history. I believe that you forgot what you visit, what pages you visit in one day.
Trial.
In one day, but the internet can track like years before. Even they can sorry, if they can track,
Trial.
one can track like when exactly you open the site, and then where, using your IP address, and if including
Trial.
those what is it, those pages, yeah, any of the pages. So once on the web, stays on the web, including of course your social media posts in Facebook, in Instagram, your comments, and it can be viral in seconds. Just yeah, like, have you ever heard the what is it, the billionaire that got viral because of the jet case? Like they
Trial.
they say that they bought the specific jet even though it's not him. So something like that. It can be viral. It can be viral. Okay. And even though after viral and then people forget about
Trial.
that, and it can be viral in just seconds. So that's how dangerous digital footprint if we don't use it carefully. Yeah.
Trial.
And why it matters as students, admission
Trial.
officers, more than 60% admission officers. So someone that admits you to join university, college, and those kind of things,
Trial.
say it's fair game to look up student info online. So they have the right, if they believe they have the right,
Trial.
because you post it public, anyone can access, including them. So it's okay for them to
Trial.
track you, to be capable on yourself, on their students, yeah. And
Trial.
admission officers who say they practice cyber vetting, almost 30%. Cyber vetting
Trial.
is how it is used by potential employees or others to vet people's online presence. So it's like the tracking people presence, how this person act in digital
Trial.
world. So something like that through their posts. They just can't. They just simply Google your name, and then
Trial.
all of your social media will appear there, and that's okay because you post it public. Okay.
Trial.
And one case is by that you can read
Trial.
about that 10 students had their admissions overs revoked. So actually they have been admitted in Harvard, but when it was discovered that
Trial.
they joined a Facebook group that circulated jokes about child abuse and the Holocaust,
Trial.
it's cancelled. Yes, it is that concerning. Okay,
Trial.
I try to look for the kind of post that it's just a meme. you know that we young people like to share jokes, right? And somehow, if it's offensive for a certain group of people, it can harm them. So yeah, those kind of things you should avoid that. Okay, because this might happen in your future. You don't want this to happen in your future. Let's say you pursue a scholarship like LPDP, for example, or other kinds of scholarship, international scholarship. People might, the admission officer might track you. And if they see something that not good, they don't like it. I mean, it can harm the institution in a not in a good way, of course. So yeah, they can just stop. I mean, not admitting you, something like that. Okay. And in professional world, so 79% of HR professionals have denied a job candidate due to inappropriate content on social media. So when they seek for new employees, they check. Most likely, they will check your presence online. And then most of them, almost 100%, 98% HR professionals from background research, background research about potential new hires. So they search you. And 90% of employers say that social media is important when evaluating a job candidate. So mind of your online presence in your social media. Nah, some of you already, what I said, mentioned the example of digital footprint, mostly about active digital footprint. Yes, so something that you really post, something you really do in online. So like your social media posts, your photos and videos that you upload, and then your online comments, and then your data location, your shopping preference. Are you aware that every time after you, let's say you are interested in buying what is it, like running shoes, for example, you Google running shoes, let's say in Google, and then you search for Shopee. You search it on Shopee, and then okay, I just scroll, and then okay, that's enough. I have what I got. But then when you open your social media, the ads are all about shoes. Have you ever thought about that? And it's kind of started to get more concerning because back then, like 2 years ago, I think that the ads, Instagram ads, only appear after, let's say, 5 posts. And it was only in the feed. So it's just on the feed, the photos, the main place. And then after 5, you get ads. After 5 photos, you get ads. And nowadays, if I'm not mistaken, it's every 3 posts. Every 3 posts, you get ads. Every 3 posts, you get ads. And then not only that, it's what is it? It's appear in stories also now. Stories. After several stories, you get ads. After several stories, you get ads. Based on what you search. Based on what you search online. In any kind of platform. Including in Google or in other in marketplace. So your preference is being sold by those companies because they know your preference. They know what you like. They know what you are interested in. Okay, and then that about shopping preference, and then about phone calls, text message and chats, emails, and etc. So things that you really do. But there are also passive digital footprint, like social security number, your tax records, your medical reports, your IP address, your browsing history, the pictures of your friends and of you in your family posts. You don't post them, but you were being tagged, for example, and you'll be appear when someone search you in that post. Device information, and then favorite websites. So those kind of things are your digital footprint, and people can search you based on that. Okay. Next, now that's why you have to manage yours. Why? Because you already know what kind of digital footprint it is, what includes the digital footprint, and then how it might harm you, but it also somehow beneficial for you if you need that. To brand yourself, take again your personal branding, and it can help you with your future employer. Okay, I post this. I show that I am able to this. So potential employer might as well hire you based on your digital footprints. Okay. Now, how to manage? So, there are several things that you can do. Let's say the first one, Google yourself. That's the first thing that you can do. Like other people who wants to know about you, you Google your name, and then see what kind of posts appear about you, especially in the first stage of Google. Yeah, and then you can list down your account, which account might harmful, which account can support your branding, your personal branding, to say is good about you, and then you can take action on that. Okay, you can be active in specific social media, and you can use it to let's say brand yourself, post about your achievement and something like that, post about positive things about you, how you would like others to see you. Okay, and then you can use privacy settings like I mentioned in the first survey. So you can restrict people who want to see yourself online in your social media, especially. And try to keep things professional. Like I said before, only post something that is beneficial. That is beneficial for others, that is beneficial for yourself. So avoid negative things, avoid negative comments, avoid social media when you are angry, because you tend to be less you tend to put less consideration when you are angry. You don't really think. And then don't overshare. Don't overshare. Only share that things that you think it won't harm you in the future. Not only you, but also your friends, perhaps, if you post about them, your families. So don't overshare. And then use strong passwords. Many platforms nowadays require you to at least have 8 characters. So the stronger your password is, the relatively more safer you are in the internet, in your social media. And then create a second email account. Why? I urge you to start making a professional mail. So it's not things that it only consists of your name. You don't add something like cantik or cool or other unnecessary words. Keep it professional email account, and you use it for your professional purpose. Okay, for your Google account and something like that. And you might also create a second mail account for those like other, what is it, other purpose, like, for example, you log into a certain website that
Trial.
require you, that might as well sending you ads and other kind of things, so you can use
Trial.
that email instead, so that your email won't be filled with junks. Yeah, create a second mail account for that purpose. And then share your achievements. Start sharing your achievement, your
Trial.
things that are positive about you in your social media. Make it detectable
Trial.
online. Yeah. And then again, think before you post. Think. Is it beneficial? Is it harmful for me, for others? Yeah. Responsible.
Trial.
And what to think? What to think? These are some considerations that you might
Trial.
use in the future, starting from now. Every time you post, think who might be able to see this. Am I posting again in anger?
Trial.
If not, then stop. Don't post unless you want to regret it
Trial.
afterwards. Yeah. Could someone feel disrespected with my post?
Trial.
If yes, then don't post. Am I revealing too much about myself that can harm me
Trial.
perhaps in the future? If yes, then don't post. Am I showing a bad side of myself?
Trial.
So like talking negative things about people, about some, about people, then don't do that, because you might end up like some
Trial.
candidates from Harvard University, just because one meme they got rejected. Yeah. And then could
Trial.
someone misinterpret what I'm saying? This is also a bit tricky. Yeah. Sometimes you don't really intend to hurt
Trial.
anybody else, anyone, but somehow it hurt them. They feel, what is
Trial.
it? They feel bad reading your post. So this might as well be better to just stop, not post.
Trial.
Think, yeah, your comments, words, photos, videos, thoughts, don't keep it on yourself. Okay.
Trial.
So again, everything you do online can leave a digital footprint. So I will end my session with some suggestion. Be mindful of your online activities. Thank you.
Trial.
I give it back again to Nadifa.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Alfe, for the very insightful presentation regarding
Trial.
the importance of digital literacy and also social media optimizations, including the awareness of digital footprints. Well, it is very interesting and it
Trial.
really makes us more aware of this thing about digital footprint, that everything we do
Trial.
online can leave digital footprint. And I think there is not really something personal on internet right now, because everyone can use it, everyone can access the our personal activity and our
Trial.
personal preference. And that's why it is very very important to aware about our digital footprints, to what to post, what to
Trial.
share on our social media, and how we want to have our own persona, something that may others perceive or something that
Trial.
others see about us. And that's why we have to utilize the social media. Once again, thank you so much, Miss Alfe, for sharing the material. It is very comprehensive and interesting. And maybe
Trial.
everyone who, all right, for all of you, for all the attendees who have questions to Miss Alpha regarding the digital footprints and everything about the material, you can ask
Trial.
through the chat box, and Miss Alpha later on will answer in the Q&A session after the second material session. Okay, now let's move on to the second session.
Trial.
And here we have Mr. Jason Kenneth. Hello, Mr. Kenneth.
Trial.
Hello. Hello,
Yes,
how are
thank
y'all
you so
doing?
much for joining us with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, where are you now, sir? Are
Trial.
you in Indonesia?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm in Yogyakarta.
Oh, I thought you're
Yeah.
in US. Okay.
Istriku dari
Trial.
Banjarnegara.
Wow.
But tapi tinggal di Jogja. So I teach online at the University of Maine in the USA, and I live here with
Trial.
my family and 5 kids.
Wow, that's really cool and great to hear. Oh my God, thank you so much for sharing your fun fact, perhaps. And yeah, I guess that's one of the
Trial.
good things about this online thingy that we can easily, like Mr. Kanif can easily teach people in USA, like he's in here in
Trial.
Yogyakarta, but he can teach people in USA. All right, before we get to the material section, I will introduce our second speaker here,
Trial.
Mr. Jason Kenneth. Briefly, maybe Mr. Jason Kenneth can introduce himself more detail in the session. Well, Mr. Jason Kenneth
Trial.
is an English teacher, an English lecturer in University of Maine, and has gained a bachelor degree and also master degree in University of Maine. And for the teaching experience, Mr. Kenneth really, I can say, Mr. Kenneth is an expert in this field of teaching because there are a lot of experience, including the currently adjunct professor of peace studies in University of Maine. And for the concentration, Mr. Kenneth loves creating creative writing, poetry, and also politics. So that's really interesting and interesting to hear about. And without any further ado, I guess let's hear the presentation from Mr. Kenneth about the how to build personal branding through social media. So Ms. Alfe has previously explained to us about the importance of social media and how is it important to keep our personal activity and a personal branding in the social media and the internet. So now Mr. Kenneth will deliver about to step by step to build our personal branding through social media. Well, to Mr. Kenneth, time is on your side.
Oh, okay. Step by step, huh? Okay. Thank you so much, Ophelia, for your amazing presentation. I was taking notes the whole time myself, so I've got things to do. Thank you for the data and for the context and for making my job a little bit easier because you've covered a lot of the material that I could have covered today. So what that does is that gives maximum space for us to do stuff. Right? So my intention for the next 45 minutes to an hour, give or take, is to implement stuff with you. So if you're expecting to hear 2 people talk only, I'm going to change that a bit. And I would like to invite how many people here? We got 46 people to do stuff with me today. So my intention today is that by the end of this time together, you will have something that looks a bit like a personal brand, right? So like one thing that I often find, and the concept is called Parkinson's law, is that the more time you give a task, the greater increases in complexity. So if you're like, oh, I want to create a personal brand and I'll do it eventually, or I'll give myself a month, or I'll give myself 2 months or 3 months. What's going to happen is that you're going to increase that in complexity and it's going to get more and more difficult. And what's going to happen is you'll have a lot of resistance and procrastination, and you'll always be getting ready to get ready. So there's a lot of research out there. You can type in personal branding on the internet and find 3 million websites that tell you how to and the step-by-step. So while I will tell you a step-by-step method today, what I'm not probably the best at is saying, here's exactly how you maximize your post schedule to then reach the optimum amount of people so you can get this particular result. I'm not that person today. So whereas this is an applied English program, we're going to be playing with English today. All right. So what I want to do, I want to invite everybody just to start. Well, first of all, just a little bit of background on me, like I was introduced. I am an assistant professor at the University of Maine. I teach English, poetry, and poetics, peace studies. Professionally, I am an entrepreneur. I am a brand advisor to exponential high growth startups here in Yogyakarta. I've also been a personal branding consultant and mentor for over 200 different clients from around the world, including locally here, New Zealand, and Hong Kong. So what I'm going to do today to you is to share with you the exact framework that I use with $1 million client, right? And you get to have it for free today, and I'll give you all my materials. So I'm going to give away the farm today. All right. But here's the caveat. You must participate today. Okay. You must participate. So one of Ophelia's quizzes, there was only 16 responses, which is great. But I want to encourage everybody to participate today. So in order to do that, I want to give a bit of an incentive. All right. So knowing now what you know about me, knowing that I've worked with companies around the world, I'm working with a company that's going to be about worth 40 million here in Jogja. So like this is me, right? What I'm suggesting here is that if you do the activity, which I ask you to do today, and you do it after the session today, and you send it to me either through WhatsApp or through email, I will give you feedback on your personal brand. Personal feedback, like how is it? How's your language, right? How do you come across? Are you making mistakes that Ophelia was saying that you shouldn't be making? And what's happening with your language and the way you're coming across? So I want to incentivize you to participate today. All right. So the first participation today is I want to ask everybody to turn on the gallery view in Zoom, okay? And to turn on your cameras. Turn on your cameras.
All right, everyone. Let's turn on our camera and turn on the gallery view. Untuk teman-teman, untuk kita bisa bilang tantangan ya untuk hari ini. Yang pertama itu kita harus menghidupkan kamera kita, ya, dan juga menghidupkan gallery view nih di Zoom. Jadi lebih banyak orang yang bisa kita lihat selain speakers yang di spotlight.
Okay, I see you, Rina. I see you.
We have Miss Rina here and Miss Fife.
I see you, Fifi. I see you, Yuhanida. I see you, Hassan. Hello, Hassan. Okay. Right. Okay, it's very interesting, right? So what's interesting to me there is this issue of perhaps fear of visibility. Okay, like, are we willing to show up? Ahmad said at the very beginning, the concern was that we're not showing up in the digital world. And so there's all kinds of channels that you can participate with out in the digital world. And then we also have this one here. So we are on Zoom together and we are participating. This is a form of social media. We are interacting. We are networking here. There are people on this call who are really important. There we go. There we go. As we're raising the stakes, the videos are coming on, right? There are people on this call who may be key figures for your professional development, right? The stakes are very high. Okay. So are we listening? Are we here? Are we present? Okay. So this visibility is a huge thing, right? Well, I'm afraid to turn on my video because I maybe didn't shower today, or I don't have the right makeup on, or I don't have the right background. Okay. I see you, Ahmad. I see you, Tree. I see you, Muhammad. So like, it's this courage to be seen, to step out there into the digital world. So we'll do a bit of that today to sort of like poke at your fear, to poke at your resistance just a little bit, just raise awareness of maybe some of the places that you might do some inner work on, okay? Because it's not just like, oh, here's the how-to, here's the step-by-step, go and do it. You say, well, I'm gonna go do it. And then you start to do it, and then you encounter, you know, some obstacles and some emotional blocks. And there's lots of stuff to be afraid about. We have this whole thing called cancel culture, right? Where like if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, then you're canceled. You are scrubbed off the internet. I was kicked off the internet for 2 years for saying something that was interpreted as being anti-vaccine. And it wasn't the case. I was kicked out for 2 years. So there is some risk involved with being more visible. Okay, so now that we are sort of visible, we are sort of participating a bit more, I want to move into the main part of the workshop today. So what I want to suggest to all of you on the call who are motivated by the potential to have professional feedback on your personal brand, to have some paper and a pen ready. So have some paper ready, have a pen or a pencil, maybe crayons, maybe something. We are going to sketch out the proto version of your personal brand today. And then I'm gonna give you some tasks. This is what you need to do in order to secure your personal brand in the context of modern social media, as Ophelia so expertly laid out for us. Okay. All right. So I'm going to switch to All right. Going to share my screen now. Okay. All right. Okay. So today, I'm going to talk about professional personal branding. My understanding is that the bulk of the people on the call today are either high school or college age, who are at the sort of cusp of thinking about their professional objectives, right? And we want to understand how social media can help you achieve those things. What are the risks and what are the rewards? So we want to bring some awareness to that today. So what I want to do today is compress a workshop that I spend usually a full day with entrepreneurs. We're going to do it in 30 minutes. So it's the rodeo version. It's cowboy American style. Okay. So it doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be great. It's just got to be done. Like start making broad brushstrokes, broad sketches, just so you've got a little bit of a more in focus picture so that you can make good life choices and good decisions on the internet. Don't make bad ones. Okay, we want to avoid those. All right. Okay. Okay, so the process that I'm sharing with you today is called the perfect performance process. Okay, and this is the process by which I have used with, of course, hundreds of entrepreneurs and hundreds of companies. And this has allowed people to have a framework in order to make good decisions on how to create content. We're not just doing it blindly, but there's a process involved. And I want to explain that process as best as possible today. That'd be okay. All right. So the perfect performance process, okay, is a 6-step process. Remember, step by step. That's my charge today. In order to create content for social media. Okay. So I'm using here a musical metaphor because I believe that social media, your personal brand, is a performance. It is you, but it is an amplified version of you. It's real, but also digital. So there's things you can do with the digital that is a bit of performance beyond what you do in everyday life. Okay. So we use a musical metaphor. your images, your words, your content, okay, is like a musical composition. You compose, okay, do some play on words here. We compose our content, we compose our brand, and then we perform that brand live into particular contexts and in particular situations, okay? So this process is a way for us to plan that, okay? And also to create some awareness about what's working and what's not working. Because at the end of the day, social media, the channels will keep increasing exponentially. They'll keep changing. So I could list all of the social media accounts that you should sign up for, and this is what you should do, but that's not going to do you any good. So I want to give you at least a framework that you can use no matter what happens, no matter what, say if Facebook becomes MySpace and TikTok becomes the new dominant social media, okay? Or with the metaverse and Web 3.0, whether we're going to all move into virtual reality or augmented reality or NFTs and crypto and all of that, we're going to move into that space. You have at least a framework in order to start creating content. Okay, sound good? Yay! All right, so there's a 6-step process. The first step is your why, okay? This is your purpose. I'll go through each of these individually, and then we're gonna do stuff together. Okay, so your why, your purpose. Step 2, your audience. Who are you talking to? Step 3, okay, the language. What is the quality of the verbal and visual language which you are using, okay? And then from there, composition. You create the thing, you create the post, you create the video, you do the thing. Whatever is the thing that you're supposed to do in TikTok, point to stuff like this, right? Whatever you're supposed to do, you compose the thing. Now, a key step is this step I call rehearsal. Rehearsal is the safety step. This is an answer to Ophelia's concerns about what to post and when you post it. The rehearsal is the moment where you say, okay, let me make sure that what I'm going to post, okay, is working, okay, it is appropriate, it is connected to my overall purpose. We'll go into that a bit more. And if not, then I need to go back into the various steps. Okay, I need to revisit my composition. I need to ask myself if the language is correct. I need to ask myself if this is connecting to the right audience. Okay, I need to ask myself, is this related to my purpose? Is it not related to my purpose? Maybe I need to change my purpose. So it's a way for us to go back and forth and to adjust our content as we grow as people. Okay. All right. So the first step is your why. You all with me? Okay. The first step is your why. Okay. There's 3 layers to your why. Okay. As Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's about what is behind the content, what's behind the social media, what's driving it. Okay. Who are you, man? Like, who are you? Like, why? So what? Who cares? Like, why are you even doing this? Like, why are you here today? Okay. What's the point? Is it to indulge yourself? Is it to impress your friends? Is it to, like, what's driving your actions on the internet? If you don't know what that is, stay off the internet. That's my advice. Stay off the internet until you get this part correct. Okay. So you have your purpose. This is your bigger purpose. You got your professional purpose. Okay. What sort of outcome do you want as a result of your social media engagement? That's professional. Okay. And then beyond that, what might be your marketing purpose or your marketing objective? So you'd be like, okay, my professional purpose is to land a job. Okay. Then my marketing purpose and objective is to get the interview. Okay. And there's ways we can measure how successful your social media is in order to achieve that objective. Okay. So first little interactive activity today. What we're going to do is we're going to nail your purpose today. Okay. So I'm going to stop my screen for a second so I can see your faces. Okay. All right. All right. So we all got our papers and pencils or pens. And what we're going to do is we're going to compress
Trial.
6 months of mental work into 5 minutes. Okay. Like I said, Parkinson's law, the more time you give something, the greater increases in complexity. We're going to smash that down. Can you tap into your purpose
Trial.
in 5 minutes? Okay. Can you articulate that in just 5 minutes? Okay. So let's do that today. Very, very simple.
Trial.
There's just 5 questions here. There's 5 questions. What I want to ask you to do and invite you to do is to sketch down your answers as quickly as possible. Okay. All right. Question 1. Who are
Trial.
you? Okay. Here, just write your name. Just write your name. You are who you are. Done. Okay. Many times we get caught up in this, like, oh, who am I? What's my identity? Oh, no, don't do that. Okay. Who are you? You know who you are. Start there. Okay. Number 1, who are you? That's your name.
Trial.
Number 2. Okay. See, we're making progress. Get a little dopamine rush in our brain because when you complete a task, you get some neurochemicals and it's great. So I want you to get high by the end of this, this presentation. Number 2. What do you love to do? What do you love to do? Not like, love. What do you love to do? Who am I? I'm Jason Caniff. What do I love to do? I love to teach. I love it. Okay. What is it? Very simple. What's the first thing that comes to mind? First 3 seconds is your unconscious mind. After that, your ego gets in the way, and your parents, your community, your religion, it's going to come in and start telling you what's right, what's wrong. The first 3 seconds when you ask yourself a question, you drop into your heart, what do you love to do? Not what your mind tells you to do. Okay. Boom. If you're done, more dopamine. Congratulations. Okay. Number 3. Very important. In this self-indulgent, narcissistic social media age, who do you want to help? Like, who? Who do you want to help? Say you started with the heart and now you're looking outwards. This is about service. Who do you want to help? This starts getting into the audience, right? Who pops into your mind? As you ask yourself the question for 3 seconds, like what pops into your mind? This is starting to become your audience, potentially. Okay. Who do you want to help? Okay, so it's easy for me. I'm Jason Caniff. What I love to do, I love to teach. Okay. Who do I want to help? I want to help. My immediate purpose right now is I want to help as many people as possible become literate in media and to achieve personal and financial success. Something like that. Okay. All right. We all good? Okay. All right. Now remember, if you're participating in this, okay, you do have the opportunity again after the session during the next week to get my feedback on your personal brand. So I encourage you to participate. All right. Question number 4. What do they need or want? Okay. So we know who we are. We know what we love to do. We know who we want to help. Okay. Now those people we want to help, what do they actually need or want? Not what you think they need, but what do they need? If you don't know later, that's called market research. Okay. But for now, this is just you as a person. What do they need or want? Yeah? Question 5. How will their lives change because of you? It's a bit more of a heady question, right? How will their lives change because of you? So it's not just that you're helping somebody that you want to help and doing the thing that you love to do. It's like, how are their lives going to transform as a result of the work that you do for them? It can be anything, right? It could be they're happier, they're more successful. Maybe it's you want to work in healthcare and their lives will transform because they're healthier and they're not sick and they can live longer and stuff like that. But what's that thing? What's that thing that keeps you up at night? What's that thing that you're passionate about? If you're a musician, okay, how will the lives transform? Well, goodness, you get their minds off of the difficulties of life. You add some beauty and joy into their lives, like that kind of stuff, right? So we can get very business about all of this, and we lose sight of what really matters. Okay. All right. Now, the last thing is, how will your life change as a result of helping them? Now it's back to you. Okay. Starts with you, what you love, who you want to help, what they need and want. How will their lives transform because of you? Okay. And then how will your life transform? Then you can take it back for yourself. Okay. All right. Cool. If you just did that exercise, if you just completed it, congratulations, you are ahead of 95% of the population. Okay. You've got some kind of foundation, some kind of a base in order to make further decisions. Okay. Like if you didn't start with this part right here, your why, okay, your purpose, a provisional purpose for right now, well, then, you're going to be off in social media land, trying different channels, trying different stuff. And then you're going to be trying to figure out your purpose in real time out on the internet. People are going to be like, whoa, they don't know who they are. They don't know what they're doing. So instead of trying to figure it out, making mistakes online, you might as well get it in place right now. Okay? So I wanted to invite anybody who wants to in the chat, okay? Sketch out any of the answers, okay? So I'm not going to wait for you to do that, but if you feel compelled to, if you feel inspired to, you are welcome to share, okay, what you came up with publicly to this group. Remember, it's about visibility. It's about being out there. It's about sharing your purpose. If you can't share your purpose here with people who love you from the same community, how will you do it out there to the nameless, faceless masses? Okay, cool, awesome work. All right, let's keep going.
All right, to all the participants who have answered there are, I guess, 6 questions in total. You may share your answers to all of us.
Yeah, let's actually, I'm gonna push a little bit here, because I really want to push people to participate in this, because this is really, really important. Okay, so let's take 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, and if you hear on this call, in the chat box, type out, okay, brief answers to those questions. Okay, so let's give you 3 or 4 minutes, type them out, post it for the world to see.
Okay, so it opens for everyone, yes, sir?
Yes.
To write down the question in the chat box.
Now, Diva, how much time do I have total after this?
Actually, the total of your session is an hour, sir. And if you take a look to the rundown, it has to be over at 11:20. So yeah,
Okay.
there are a lot of times.
So remembering that the objective of this miniature workshop today is that you construct the loose structure of a personal brand. Okay. Starts with your purpose.
Trial.
All right. Well, waiting for the others to join in the chat box. There, I
Trial.
guess the questions are really simple yet can be have deep meaning, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes the most difficult
Trial.
questions are the ones that are the most simple. And so
Yep.
we tend to avoid the simple questions and we focus on the complex
Trial.
ones, thinking that we're doing something or that we're
Yes.
smarter or more productive. But there's that great line from Good Will Hunting, where Robin Williams asked Matt Damon, he's like, "What
Trial.
do you want to do?" He couldn't answer the question. And he says, "Well, you got a BS answer for everything." Right? So these simple questions are
Trial.
the ones that we need to spend some time articulating. And that's why it's not surprising to me that there's not a whole lot of
Trial.
movement in the chat box yet. And it's okay. Okay. But I want to trigger that awareness within you that
Trial.
there's maybe some questions that you need to go back into, right?
Yep.
Before you start optimizing social media in some very aggressive fashion.
Trial.
Okay. That's very good. It's
I
like,
couldn't
what,
agree more.
who do you want to help, man? Like, how are you going to do it? And who cares?
Trial.
And what does it mean for you? Yeah.
Maybe the answer can be as simple as because I want to help, or maybe because I have a vision, I have a purpose, I have a principle.
Trial.
Mhm.
As complicated as that. Oh, we have a question here for the other amazing
Hey,
speaker, for Miss Alfe.
I was about to put you on the spot, Ophelia. I was like, well, at least the other speaker will do it.
Trial.
Yeah, and also we have another answer, sir. There is
Amazing.
Mandina.
Okay, so we'll just run through a couple
Trial.
of these, okay? And as you're listening to these, maybe you say, well, okay, well, now I know how to do it. I'll do it correct, or there's no wrong answer here. It's just doing the job. Okay, so Ophelia says, number one,
Trial.
educator and student. Okay, number two, to share with my students. Number three, people like me back then. Number four, motivation, people telling them that they can. Number five, they'll start doing new things, eliminating their fear, increase motivation,
Trial.
and self-confidence. And they'll go places, right? And then for you, happier, good things will follow, right? So I'm quite convinced that good things will follow Ophelia after this presentation today because of her service to you, right? Absolutely.
Trial.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ophelia,
Jason.
for sharing. Medina says, hey, I'm Medina, right? So number one, good job. You know your name. Number two,
Trial.
what do you love to do? I love to dress up, sing, work out. Okay, cool. So you're creative,
Trial.
sounds like you're an artist. Three, have a good career. Okay. And then number four, who do you want to help?
Trial.
Myself, family, environment, youngsters. They want to become a role model, and you want to give them inspiration. And then you just happy to help, right? So this basic idea of
Trial.
service. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, you can see it's like it's not entirely sexy, right? It's not super
Trial.
formal. It's like just the broad brushstrokes. Yeah. So who are you? What do you love to do? Who do you want to help? What do they need? And how will their lives change? And then how would your life change after helping them?
Trial.
Okay. So it's like, if your purpose then is to get a job at some point or to be in a certain career, okay, then
Trial.
in the meantime, you can be helping people, okay? And your personal brand can be constructed of the ways in which you consciously and intelligently are helping
Trial.
people. People can see that you're helping them, okay? So Medina, if you want to help people,
Trial.
right, doing something that you love, well, goodness, maybe your social media is you dressing up, right? You want to help people feel better about themselves through fashion, okay? So then your social media is going to have you try on
Trial.
different outfits. It's going to be talking about singing. It's going to be about working out. It's going to be about fitness, okay? And so that would be a
Trial.
good way for you to create a personal brand on the way towards your bigger purpose, your
Trial.
objective or your purpose to, like, say, land a job, right? Or to do something even bigger with that. Very cool. All right. Very good. Well, thank you to everybody who participated. I take it to mean that we're asking the right questions, right? If the answers are not quite coming through, okay, there's two things happening here. One, you're here and not participating, which is kind of interesting. Okay. And number two, we don't quite know. And that's okay. That means you have to go back and you have to do some more work. Bring these questions home with you. Okay. And give it some more thought. All right, cool. All right, now I'm going to go back through the framework, okay? And then we'll start kind of tracking that out through the framework, and then we'll start playing with some language a bit here. Okay.
Trial.
Okay. All right, so that was the first part. That's the why, that's the purpose, okay? So we started going through that. All right, and then you want to be aware of your professional purpose. Okay, so your first purpose, the one we just worked on, that's like your bigger why. That's your heart. That's the thing. That's the deepest essence of you. Every brand starts with an essence. Okay, so you have like purpose one, and then layered on top of that is purpose number two. This is your professional purpose. Is it to get into UGM? Is it to land a job? Is it to Is it to form a business partnership? Is it to collaborate? You know, you want to be very clear about what that professional purpose is, and make sure that your primary purpose and your professional purpose they are lined up together. Okay. And then number three, we do your marketing purpose. Okay, this would be the immediate ways in which you can tell that your content is doing what you want it to do. Okay, so my marketing purpose objective right now on the way towards landing a job, collaborating with others, something along those lines would be, okay, an increase in followers, an increase in engagement, okay, people sharing my post. Every channel is going to have different ways to indicate to you, to point to you and say, you're doing a good job. The algorithm gods are blessing you today and you're getting virality. Okay, so you want to be clear about your marketing purposes. Okay. All right, so audience. Okay, so we have our why, our purpose, our professional purpose, and thinking about our marketing purpose. Okay. The next is your audience. You can get a bit more specific. Now we're thinking about your post now. Thinking about all the wonderful things from Ophelia's presentation. Okay, who are you speaking to? If you've already answered the question in the why part, you know who you want to help. Who are you speaking to? Who you are speaking to should be the people that you want to help. Does that make sense? The people that you're speaking to in social media are the people that you want to help. Okay, so that is going to fundamentally shape the decisions that you're making. What to post, when to post, how to post it, because you know who you're talking to. If you don't know who you're speaking to everybody. And if you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. Okay, you're just noise. As Ophelia said, there's billions of posts every day. It's ephemeral. It's like smoke. It's like air. No one remembers, but then there's also this weird digital footprint forever. So it's kind of weird. It's like nothing matters, but then also everything does kind of matter forever and ever, you know, till the end of time. So who are you speaking to? Okay. And you don't have to be completely clear on that. Maybe you just want to help young people in Yogyakarta and you're speaking to them, and that's okay. Where you get into trouble and where you create confusion, because branding is about eliminating confusion, is you're speaking to multiple audiences at the same time, or you're speaking to multiple audiences within a particular channel. Okay, so when it comes to the channel selection, okay, which social media platforms you want to be on, you might ask yourself, well, okay, I have multiple audiences I want to help because I'm a Renaissance man, I'm a Renaissance woman. I dabble in everything. Fine. Okay. You could be a dancer and a painter and a teacher at the same time. Okay. So maybe your TikTok is you showing people how to dance, right? And then maybe your Facebook is about showing people about fashion. Okay. And maybe LinkedIn is you like really communicating your professional value or something like that. So that's a strategy that you can use in order to sort of segment your audiences a bit. Okay? And so that way people who are looking for you in that space know to find you in TikTok and vice versa. Okay. But if you jam it all into one space, you don't know who you're talking to, then it becomes a lot of noise. Okay. All right. So the audience should be connected to your purpose. We get that, right? And we want to be as specific as possible. So you want to see them, you want to know their thoughts and feelings, you want to talk to them, right? Best way to know your audience is just to talk to them, right? Like I'm talking to you all right now. Okay. As we have been talking together today, I'm getting to know you more and more. So that's shaping the way that I am communicating to you now. Okay. It's a give and take. Okay. All right. Language. All right. Language, people. Watch your language. All right. I assume that because we are here on behalf of the UGAM's vocational college and the applied English program, that we're all very much interested in personal brands that communicate in English. I'm making that assumption today. And so that might be part of that resistance, that fear of visibility. The resistance to posting is because, oh my goodness, what if I don't conjugate my verb correctly? Or what if I say the wrong thing? I don't get the idiom right. And like, yeah, it's a thing, right? And that's part of, I think, the advantage of a program like this is it can help you get better and better and better at that. So assuming that you want to communicate in English. By the way, side note, I just wish that the businesses here in Yogyakarta would just take a moment and pause before they put their advertisements up on the billboards on the ring road. Because like, I'm like, no, just all you had to do is contact me first. I could have told you that's not the way you do it, right? So it is an issue. I mean, I'm terrible at Bahasa Indonesia, and I couldn't even imagine myself having to write social media posts in Bahasa Indonesia. Like, no. I mean, my wife already makes fun of me enough. She's like, you've been here for 7 years, Jason. Why can't you speak again? And I'm like, I don't know. Right? So I get it. I totally get it. So when it comes to tone, diction, and style, okay, very important. Tone is your attitude. Tone is your attitude. Okay? So think of it like your personal brand is the same thing as you walking into a room. Okay, you're going to walk into the room. What's your attitude when you strut into that room? Do you strut? Do you walk with your shoulders back and chest upright? Okay. Do you hold your head high? Do you hold your head low? Do you hide yourself? Like, in what ways is your offline and online activity the same, right? Many of you chose not to turn on your videos today. Many of you chose not to participate. Okay, fine, right? It's a free world, okay? You can do what you want to do or not do, okay? But when you walk into a room, that's where your personal brand starts. How do you walk into that? Is it conscious? Is it unconscious? Is it gendered? Is it politicized in some way? Does it depend upon the room that you're walking into? Okay, what's your attitude? Okay, so that's your tone. And so you want to decide what it is for your brand. Choose one tone to start, right? So are you, is your attitude polite? Is it kind? Is it edgy? Is it energetic? Is it soft? Is it, here's where you can start really tapping into your knowledge of English, right? Which word or adjective really appeals to you to match your personality, okay? And not just your personality, but the personality, the version of you, right, that nails the purpose. My purpose is to impress people in that room, okay? What is the personality that I need to take on? What is the tone of my outfit? What is the tone of my speech, right? That's gonna help to bring forth that objective, okay? If I know what that is, okay, then I'm gonna avoid doing the opposite. I'm not gonna show up in torn clothes, not showered, and expect to actually get into UGM or into Harvard or whatever. Like, who is this guy? But I'm really smart. They're like, I don't care. You didn't shave, right? That's really important stuff. Okay. Diction. Diction is your word choice. Okay, fancy word for word choice. Diction, think dictionary. What is your word choice? okay? And then the style would be the way that you construct your sentences. This is syntax and semantics, okay? Do you use compound sentences or simple sentences, all right? So get out your paper and pens one more time if you're participating. I know there's a few of you. I appreciate those of you with your videos on. I'm talking to you, okay? And those of you who are hiding in the shadows, it's okay too. You can just watch, it's okay. And for those of you who are watching this as a recording, feel free to participate as well. Okay, so choose one word, your tone. Think of the adjective that describes the personality that you need to project that is most likely, right, to further your purpose. Okay, are we all following? Okay, we had our purpose. I know who I want to help. And I'm going to help them in this way. Awesome, good for you. Okay, cool. What if they won't let you help them because you don't have the right attitude, right? So what is the attitude you need to have? What's the tone? In order to even let you help them. It's like, oh, I want to help you. No, right? Not everyone wants to be helped by you. They're like, go away. I don't know you. You're a stranger. You're weird. Right? What's your tone? What's your personality? All right, so choose your tone. Write it down. Later on, you can get more complex. You can add multiple tones and multiple channels. Don't worry about that yet. That's advanced. The biggest mistake people make is to overcomplicate it at this stage, right? Because it's really about trying to prove themselves. So if people try to get too complex with their brands as they're starting out, it's usually a sign of insecurity, and it's a sign of a fear of incompetence. Okay. And what happens there is because your audience is really paying attention to you, they can see right through it. They can smell blood, right? They're like, oh, they're trying too hard. If you're trying too hard, they're like, okay, let's wait till they have some of that confidence. I think the word's percaya diri, right? Yeah, so let's wait till we have more of that. Okay. All right, diction. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 choices. It's an either or. Okay. So as you're thinking of the word choice for your personal brand, it's going to be on a sliding scale from this word to this word. Okay. And I want you to write down the word that most closely resembles sort of the kind of language that you wish to use. Okay. Again, we're just creating some meta awareness, okay, around our language choices. All right. Now think about your purpose. Think about the people you want to help. Think about how you'll help them, right? Get the feels in your heart. Okay. Picture them. Whatever you got to do. Get out of your mind, get into your heart. So when I ask you this, write it down in the first 3 seconds. That's your heart talking, not your brain. Okay. First one, informal, formal. Informal, formal. Okay. Is it more informal or more formal? Somewhere in between is an okay choice, but beware that you're doing that in order to avoid actually stepping out of it. Okay. Well, if I'm just sort of neutral, that means I'm safe. Okay. Well, maybe to get the job, you got to be a little bit more informal, right? To show your personality, to set yourself apart. Okay. Number 2, this is the big word here, colloquial, right? Or business. Colloquial is like the vernacular, the everyday. Do you use everyday language or do you use business language? Okay. Again, beware of that in-between point. Try to make a decision either way. Number 3, subjective or objective. Subjective or objective. This is about the distance between what you're writing and you as a person. Subjective, it's like, oh, I think this, I think that. It's very opinion-based, right? Okay. This is subjective is going to be like from the feels. Like, this is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion, so I'm going to share my opinion on, Eastern European politics right now. Careful. Careful. I'm an expert in infectious diseases and Eastern European politics and no-fly zones, right? Really? How'd you manage that? Oh, I learned it from the internet. What? How'd you do that? Well, the algorithm showed me. Careful. All right. Next, figural versus literal. So figurative or literal. Figurative language, metaphor, simile, colorful adjectives, right? Or literal, you are black and white, you're straight down the line, you say it how it is, you're a straight shooter, all of that, okay? You can probably tell I'm a little bit not that, okay? I'm a little bit more on the poety side, okay? I think it makes for better presentations, maybe, who knows? Because half of you might like my style and half of you don't, and that's okay, all right? Because you appeal more to somebody who is a straight shooter. Okay, are you literal or are you more figurative? All right. Connotative, denotative. Again, $1,000,000 words. Connotative or denotative. Okay, so connotative, right? It's all about the implications of your words, right? You're not saying what you mean. You're saying you're a bit indirect. Okay, if it's denotative, it's going to be what you say is what it is. Again, it's kind of a synonym of the literal versus figurative. Okay. Is your writing saying something or is it implying things beyond your writing? Okay. If you're a sarcastic person, you're going to be more connotative. Indonesians are famous for sarcasm and also for gossip, right? Yogyakarta is brutal with the gossip here. So the gossip culture, right? And sarcasm, it's like world class. So there's a very intense cancel culture locally. You say the wrong thing to the wrong person, man, you're on their lips forever. All right. Okay. I had a friend of mine, he's throwing a housewarming party on April the 1st, and he called it a Ramadan kickoff party. And we're like, no, don't do that. Don't name your party after the religious holiday that follows, right? And it's like, don't do that. So we're like, you can't do that. You're going to get canceled in Yogyakarta. Be careful, careful. All right, 2 more. Passive versus active. All right. I think most of you are passive today. Okay. You're hiding back in the shadows. The video is off, you know, it's a bit more passive. Okay. How do you expect to get the job or get the thing or, you know, move forward in life? Are you going to wait for it to come to you? I deserve it, right? If you're too passive, it's not just fear, but it's entitlement. You either don't have any like purposes, you don't have any ambitions, or you're like, I'm so amazing as it is. I don't have to do anything, and the opportunity is just going to roll my way. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, probably not. You gotta do stuff to get noticed, even if that stuff is risky. Okay, and that's always the catch. So last one, abstract versus concrete. Okay, is your language more sort of again? Is it more sort of like intellectual? Is it more sort of heady? Is it more in the realm of ideas? Okay, or are you a person who deals more with like the things on the ground? Are you a grounded person, concrete, everyday things you can touch and taste and feel? Or are you more abstract? Okay. So what you have there is kind of a sliding scale, right, of what I believe from my professional experience to be the 7 areas that you need to have some awareness on. So then let's just say you want to write a post, and that post is going to be, about something you're doing at UGM. Okay. Then you're going to write that, okay, like just raw, a draft of that. And then like, okay, cool. Given now my purpose, who I'm writing to, what I expect to happen, all right? Now, can I use these words and sliding scale to help me shape the language in a way that feels good? And then the more you practice that, the more you rehearse that, the more that's going to become second nature. Okay. So the first few times and the first few 100 times that you do that, you have to apply a lot of conscious awareness to it. And you have to practice. And after a while, your personal brand will then just flow organically out of that because it's just working. Okay. Does that make sense? Awesome. Very smart. Okay. All right. Then moving on to, I've got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to speed up a bit here. The style is the sort of overall composition strategy and the structure of your language. Okay. Also think about, what you wear in your clothes and whatnot. Okay. So there's 4 potential styles, okay, that are available for most personal branding. Choose one. Are you argumentative? Do you like to have arguments? Do you like to make claims? When you post stuff, are you trying to change people's minds? Are you trying to reason? Okay. Well, I really think that Russia actually is justified in going to Ukraine because of blah, 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 blah. Careful. But if you're argumentative, okay, that's your thing. Descriptive. I'm just a documentary person. My job, I'm a really skilled observer. I'm great at describing things how they are. Are you a descriptive social media person? Okay. What's going on? Number 3, are you a storyteller? You like to tell stories about your life, other people's lives. Okay. And number 4, are you a persuasive person? Okay. Are you trying to influence people? You're trying to influence people through persuasive tactics. It's a bit more markety kind of stuff, right? But it's going to fall either argumentative, descriptive, storytelling, or persuasive. Okay. All right. Last thing on the syntax of your language. Okay. Sentence length, short or long. Make a choice. All right. And your sentence structure, simple or complex. Okay. Very good. All right. That is your language. All right. Quickly moving forward. After you've got that sort of sorted, then do it. Then compose the thing, write the post, make the video, do the reel, do whatever you want to do. Compose yourself. So play on words here. You're going to compose yourself through your purpose, through your audience, in order to compose your post. We'll compose now, okay? And before you post that, don't you dare do it without rehearsing it with somebody. Okay? Because right now the stakes are very high. Because as Ophelia said, everything you do is on the internet forever, right? And like people, like politicians and movie stars, they're getting canceled for something they wrote on Twitter 10 years ago. They're like, oh, by the way, because we're so woke now, we can go into the past, right? And we can say, oh, you weren't sensitive enough towards transgendered women. So because of that, we're going to cancel you today. You're like, what? So this is happening. People can retroactively go back to a post from previous times with a new way of looking at the world. They can cancel you from there. So you want to rehearse it, okay? And then this audience that you rehearse it with, okay? Friends, colleagues, they should tell you, don't you dare post that. Or like, yeah, that's great, go for it, right? So you want to always rehearse what you're going to do before you post, especially if it's something that's high stakes. Okay. All right, so the performance, okay, this is when the thing you do is going to go live, all right? Your content goes live, you publish it, and you want to measure the performance of your performance. All digital content is a performance, okay? You're being performative. You're performing an identity that helps you achieve a particular purpose, okay? And you go back and then you want to adjust any part of the process that is necessary. Okay, we went through that part a little bit fast, but it's okay. The most important part was the purpose in thinking about your language. Okay, now believe me, it sounds complex what we're doing here, but this is actually the simplest version. It can get way more complex. Again, we're just creating additional awareness about what decisions that we're making. All right. So this 6-step process, you can keep going back. You can say, okay, cool. Like what's not working? I'm not getting the likes. I'm not getting the shares. I'm not getting the engagement that I want. What's not working? Do I have something stuck in my teeth? Do I smell bad? Is my outfit off? Or is it like I need to reevaluate my purpose or think differently about my audience? Or maybe my language is coming across a bit too know-it-all or whatever. Okay, so you can go back through and you can keep adjusting there, right? Okay, I'm going to wrap up here, and I'm going to make a few very specific suggestions on how to sort of jumpstart your personal brand. Okay, so this is more like very concrete things that you can do. All right. And these are the concrete things that you would do in order to get the feedback from me, the professional feedback on your personal brand. Okay. So what I recommend to everybody here, if you haven't already done so, and this connects to Ophelia's great suggestion of getting a professional business email, is to buy the domain name of your name. Do it. If you do nothing else today or in the next week, the first thing you must do is buy the domain of your name. I don't think it's going to be too hard in Indonesia, because I swear everybody's name is different. I have the hardest time with names. So you're all very creative about your names. My wife's name is Tenny Yunutriana because she was born on the 10th of January. So it's like, yeah, they named me after the date and the month. You can do that here? Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so cool. In the US, we're all like Jason, John, Jim, or Bob, and so all of the names are taken. It's a bit harder. So you all have the very unique competitive advantage of having super unique names, right? And you're like, well, it sounds too foreign. It sounds too this. No, it sounds unique. When they type in your name, they're going to want to type in your name. They're looking for you. So buy your domain, okay? What I'd suggest to there, I'm going to be very, very perceptive here. Buy your domain name, your .com, okay? And then also buy, if you have the budget, at least 3 satellite domains around that. So .com and then .com or .id. I think get your Indonesian one as well, all right? Then also get basically maybe a .co or a .me. So you want to protect your name because you want to make the assumption that you're going to be super famous someday. Right? In my future purpose, I'm going to be well known. And what happens there when you're well known is that people will buy your domain name of your name and try to sell it back to you, right? Or they will, it's like, oh, you're famous now. You're like, oh man, I should have bought that .com when Jason told me to. Well, when you're famous, they'll say, okay, I'll sell it back to you for $10,000. Right? So you want to protect your name, protect your domain. So buy that and then get a professional email account connected to that domain, right? And this would be, so on your social media, you'll have www.ahmadmuam.com, right? And then email is going to be ahmad@ahmadmuam.com. Okay, done. You don't have to make it like super complex or super creative. Don't do anything cute, okay? Just make it your name. That's all you have to do. All right, so Gmail is probably best. You can get those. You can get a free account connected to universities for Gmail. So look into that as well. In terms of like social media, here's your homework if you so choose to accept it. There are only 2 social media accounts which I think are important right now, and that goes against common wisdom. Oh, omni-channel presence, you need to be everywhere all the time. No, you don't, and this is why. Okay, LinkedIn has spent billions of dollars. They've paid billions of dollars to Google so that Google has an arrangement with them that anytime someone types in your name into Google, and if you have a LinkedIn account, it'll pop up at the top of the page. Okay. So the fastest way that you can control what people see about you on the internet is to optimize your LinkedIn account or to create one. So first thing, get your domain. Number 2, get your email address connected to that domain. Number 3, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, set it up right away. Okay. And then number 4 is Instagram. Okay. Instagram and Facebook are the same thing. Facebook doesn't mean anything anymore. And trust me on that. It's just Instagram, right? Don't worry about TikTok. Don't worry about anything else. It's just going to be those 2. You want to optimize those 2. Last thing, and then I'll turn over the talking stick to our MC, is that you want to create a logo for yourself. Okay, you're like, what? A logo for myself? Yes, but the logo for your personal brand is your face. It's just your face, right? So this is where the first step of getting over fear of visibility. You don't put an avatar, you don't put like a flag over your face. You don't sort of like make a scrunchy, cute duck face, right? You want to create a logo. It's going to be just your face, not even your shoulders, just your face. Okay, it's going to be your face. The background's going to have be blurry or neutral. Okay. And what's going to happen there is that face, the logo of your face, must be in every location you're at online. Okay, so the first thing you'll do there is you will find somebody to take a picture of you on your iPhone in portrait setting, right? And that right there will be your logo for all of your social media channels. Okay, all right. So open a LinkedIn account, optimize your LinkedIn and your Instagram with your freshly taken picture of yourself. Okay, and then what I want you to do, if you want the feedback from me, is to create a post. All right. That is on both LinkedIn and on Instagram. Okay. Do it on both. Okay. And then this post is going to be influenced by our discussion today. All right. And then when you do that, I want you to send me either a WhatsApp message or an email. And I'll share with you my WhatsApp and my email right now. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can write down my WhatsApp number here or my email address. And then when you make that post, you can send me an email or a WhatsApp message, and I'm happy to take a look at it and give you some feedback. Okay. All right, that completes my my content for today. Thank you so much for listening and for your patience and your participation today. It's lots of fun.
Okay, such an amazing presentation and materials from Mr. Jason Kenneth. I would like to really say thank you to Mr. Kenneth for delivering the incredible material, and also same as what Ms. Alfe has delivered, it is very insightful and relatable for all of us regarding the optimizing the social media for our personal branding. But I just want to sum up from my own perspective regarding the material that has delivered by Mr. Kenneth, that the first thing first that we have to do to brand ourselves, to show people but our personal branding, is to know ourselves first. Like, what is your name? Like, what the reasons why we post this, the reasons why we become someone like this, who people that we want to help, and how our life has changed, and how we can influence others. And I guess that's just a basic reasons to do all of the things that we can do to build our personal branding, which is really, really intriguing. But I guess that's a little bit tricky as well, because there are a lot of challenges, because during the build of personal branding, there are a lot of challenges that we have to face. And I guess that's all for our second session. It's really interesting. And it's time for us to move on to the next session, which is Q&A session. But before we move on to the next session, I would like to remind all the participants to click your attendance on the chat box. Maybe, yes, Ichan has give the link for the attendance. So all participants may click the attendance link, and also the exit ticket. We are very welcome for any feedback from you all. Okay. Now, without any further ado, I would like to open the Q&A session. So all of you, everyone can ask any question regarding the topic to our speakers. You may chat on the chat box, or you may click the raise hand, and I will allow you to speak directly to our speakers to ask about your question. All right. While waiting for the others, I guess I have a question to Ms. Alfe and also Mr. Kenneth regarding several things here, because the topic is really interesting for me, and I guess it's really interesting for all of us too. I would like to ask about the LinkedIn. I personally just know about this platform. Like I made the account when I go to the college and in the second semester, not even in first semester. Well, I have several opinions. I got several opinions from several people that I know that they are active users of LinkedIn, and some of them say that LinkedIn is the best way to promote ourselves, to brand ourselves, to connect with people, especially in the business field. But I have also some people who say that LinkedIn is just something, it's just a platform to show off, and for purpose like we post something in LinkedIn, not just our profile, but we post something, maybe the screenshot or today's event or our story. It's just something not really necessary, and it's just something to show off to people. And I want to know, like, your perspective on this. Maybe Ms. Alfie or Mr. Kenneth.
Okay, so I can just jump in real quick. The first thing that I would say about that is to be cautious of anybody who makes statements like that channel is just for this. So that word just, it's a bit, it might be unfairly reductive, and it's sort of discounting all of the things that are happening on that platform that are in fact not showing off. So I think that that kind of statement, it tends to reflect more on the person saying it than the actual channel, which is not to say that people aren't on LinkedIn like flexing and being like, look at me, like I'm doing a seminar in front of 50 students at UAM today, right? The thought crossed my mind and I decided not to post that for the very reason you're talking about, right? So I do think that's a bit there, but yeah, so that's my first thought. Not sure, Feely, if you have anything to add to that, but I would say let's each channel, okay, it's got their uses and limitations. It's got their good and bad sides, and it's not all good and it's not all bad, and it's what we make of it. Technology doesn't, technology is not doing something to us. I believe that technology reveals what's already inside of us. So I actually don't believe that social media or technology is changing us as humans, or we can blame technology. I think it's actually more healthy and it's a better mindset if we say, actually, technology has always been there from the history of time, right? It's just a different technology. And so it's nothing's happening right now that's any different. The technology, as it's changing, it is revealing the human nature already within us. Okay, so the person who's saying, oh, it's just this, it's just that. Well, maybe the technology is revealing the fact that this is the kind of person who likes to blame, who likes to point their finger sort of outside themselves. So that's what I would say to that. Hope that's not too unfair to say.
Okay, all right, thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth.
May I
Maybe
add?
Miss Alfie?
Okay.
Yes, sure, Miss.
I kind of agree with you, Jason. I mean, yeah, like I said before, it's like a two sides of a coin. So it's on us. It's on us who wants to see it as take the benefit of it or see the bad side of it. So yeah, we just need to be a smart user. If and many what is it? Many people got advantages, lots of advantages. Those remote workers, they get what is it? Their career there. I mean, not few people get a success career from LinkedIn. So I believe that helps. Yeah. And so for those for the people who tend to be seen as a negative, then I don't know. Perhaps they don't have things to what is it to put there, or yeah. I think it's on us.
Yeah, just to add on to that, okay, so a couple things. First, as we know, Web 2.0 is shifting to Web 3.0, and then it'll go to 4.0 and 5.0. So in the next generation, we're going to see exponentially more complex iterations of the World Wide Web, and it's going to keep taking forms that we can't possibly imagine yet. in the same way that people in 1950 couldn't imagine what we're doing right here in front of us right now. So like, that takes a lot of humility to say that's going to happen. And at the same time, we also need to be aware of the way in which social media itself, right, is trying to program sort of a binary approach to technology. So it's like, oh, it's either all good or all bad, and beware of what's happening in the news right now. Like, and it's being pushed a lot by Facebook's parent company Meta, which is like, the metaverse is fantastic. It's going to be great. It's going to make your lives amazing, right? And so you have a huge marketing push, and also busy algorithms created by bots owned by corporations who are very invested in you taking a very absolute positive view towards new technologies, right? Towards AR and VR, while not adequately addressing some of the issues that Ophelia had pointed out in her presentation around like addiction, depersonalization, desocialization, stuff like that. And so they're really overlooking that. And I think that's something we all need to be aware of, right? So it's not just good or just bad, but it's something that we can make good or bad and use it for particular purposes connected to our purpose.
Okay, thank you so much to Ms. Alpha and also Mr. Cannon for answering my question. It's really, it opens my eye that, yes, it's all on us, and it's all about our choices and our reasons why we do this and that. Is it linked to our purpose or personal preference? And, yep, there are always two sides of everything, right? Okay. I guess the others seem to be still shy to ask any question, but I believe that everyone has got such insightful information and materials from the presentation. And maybe I want to ask one more time regarding the consistency in this personal branding, especially in optimizing the social media for personal branding. I want to ask to first our speakers about the consistency. Do we have to be consistent in terms of personal branding? Because I heard several times about people that say different platforms, different personality. Let's say in Instagram, someone has personal branding which shows like fancy things, like good things, etc. But on Twitter, they people say orang-orang sambat gitu, orang-orang mengeluh. They talk about something like different from Instagram. So in that context, do we have to be consistent, or is it okay to have different persona, to have different personal branding in different platforms?
Okay, thank you, Nadifa, for the question. That's actually a very good question. Do we have to consistent in every platform, or we can do this persona here, this persona there, and so on and so on? Okay, the first thing that you have to be aware is that, like I said before, everyone can check. Everyone can check, including your future employers, including the administrators, and so on and so on. So it's your consideration. Okay, again, it's our consideration. The more we post about being consistent, the more we post, the more we appear. I believe that. So the more we post, the more we are being consistent about certain things, like helping people, for example, following Jason's suggestion. Yeah, I believe if we have our channel, if we have our account, it will get bigger. So being consistent is, yes, it is. It can do some good. And for different persona, well, it's your choice, but you know the consequences. That's what I can say about that. For the for the sambat kind of persona, I think it's better to keep it on yourself. Just speak for yourself, yeah, for ourselves, because, well, yeah, it can appear someday when perhaps we didn't even remember about our
Trial.
posts. Like 10 years later or 15 years later, it might harm you. So yeah, those kind of things.
Trial.
All right, thank you, Miss Alfie. And how about Mr. Kenneth?
Um, I have lots of
Trial.
things to say about that, so I'm going to choose which thing I'll share, and I wish we had a couple more hours with all of you. But
Trial.
okay, let's see. What I would say to that is probably err on the side of consistency.
Trial.
At least at this stage of your personal brand, because if you're really just starting out, you don't have an established personal brand. Let's say
Trial.
that means having, let's say, 10,000 or more followers, right? You're still in that first 10,000. At this stage, the
Trial.
minimalism is better, consistency is better, and so I think that you should sort
Trial.
of earn the right to increase the complexity or the variation of your personal brand. And that's something that
Trial.
I believe you earn the right to do after about 10,000 followers, because, I think that you have mastered the ability to manage more than one thing at one time. And also, just connecting back to our professional purposes we talked about earlier, if you're a young person on this call today, your professional purposes should be very monofocal, right? I have a singular purpose right now, and everything that I'm doing is directed towards that thing. Okay, I don't believe that we have the luxury anymore to be Peter Pan and like never grow up, and then like we're going to be entertaining multiple different careers. We're never going to decide, because that's okay. But by the time you're 30 or 40, it's kind of pathetic. So like, if you can just choose now, be monofocal. You may not know the grand design of why you're on this planet, right? But at least for now, what is the thing you're aiming at? And then the first stage of your personal brand should be all shaping towards that, which from my advice should be helping people and helping a certain audience of people. After you get that, I think that audience gives you the permission and the right to expand further beyond that. That's my take on that. And plus, it's just easier to manage, right? And also, and the other thing I'd add to that, promise it's the last thing on this question, is we have entered into an age right now, and I think it's been provoked by perhaps the pandemic, or revealed by the pandemic, not caused, exposed what's already in human nature, a kind of a latent narcissism, right? There's lots of talk of narcissistic personality disorder and people who are inherently narcissistic, and who knows whether or not social media is creating that or revealing that in ourselves. So I think there's actually a pushback or a lashback against personal brands that are way too self-indulgent, right? I think gone are the days of flat lay pictures of the food that you're going to eat, or pictures of you with a selfie stick and a bikini, at La Bombaggio, right? Like those things they're not being rewarded and accepted in the same way anymore by both the audience and by the algorithms. Okay. So I think that personal brands are actually becoming more about the other. Okay. So when I talk about service, how are you going to help people? Your personal brands, I think, besides the logo, right, shouldn't really contain pictures of you. It should contain pictures of things outside of you that you care about, so that when people are on your social media, they'll recognize themselves within the content that you produce, as opposed to being confused or confounded by trying to figure out who you are. And if you're like Sombong over here with like your luxury stuff, and over here you're like the very prim and proper university student, then I think that creates a kind of confusion, or at the very least, it creates an unmemorable social media account, which is not going to do much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to Mr. Kenneth for also answering my questions. Really insightful and interesting that once again we have to take a look to our purpose, and also it's really important to know the consequences. So in everything we do, including everything we do online, on the internet, on social media, in terms of personal branding and everything. Okay, next move on. Apparently we have a question here for from a participant from Madina. She just lost the connection and just rejoined just now, and she wants to know about the rebranding. Is it the same, the process, and also the step by step to do the rebranding, comparing to creating branding itself? Is it the same? About tips and trick and everything that we need to know about the rebranding. Is it the same with creating ones or not? All right, Mr. Kenneth and Miss Alfie, you may answer the question right away.
I guess I'll start. So the process is the same from my angle. So if a client was going to come to me with that question, I would just work with the framework that I showed you all today, and we would just work through that, right? So the first thing I would do is to say, well, why are you rebranding? What's the point? It's always going to be connected to a purpose. You know, either your purpose has changed, your audience changed, or you have changed significantly in your life, right? Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's a pivot in your business because the pandemic or because some external force has really forced you to rethink how you're doing things, right? And that's okay. I believe that if you are doing personal branding appropriately and consistently, right? You're doing that with good intention. If you're active, rebranding, you won't have to rebrand, right? It's just like it's like a slow turn of a big ship, okay? As opposed to, whoa, I'm gonna just quickly turn this way, you know? Well, no, because the more you create a personal brand, the more it becomes a bigger and bigger ship, okay? Because think of that as reputation being built, right? And in order to actually go left or right, you have to say, okay, now I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go right up there, and it's gonna take a while to do that, okay? So right now in this stage where you're first starting, you're like in a little rowboat, right? And you can go very fast in either direction because you're figuring it out, right? So, but over time, the more power, the more reputation, you're going to have more influence, but actually the harder it is going to be to change, like a massive change. So I would suggest that that you conduct your personal branding as consistently as possible and as authentically as possible, so that a rebrand is not really anything serious. It's like a little tweak in your story, right? So if LinkedIn is sort of like your story of how you came to be in this particular industry, and you're changing industries, then you want to connect your previous industry to this new one so people won't see you as incompetent. You create a story. So I really think that rebranding from that perspective is more about creating a new narrative that includes the old as well.
Perhaps I can add a little bit.
Please.
So thank you, Jason. For example, I recently Googled myself. I like to Google myself recently, so that I know what kind of branding that I really have in the digital world. So for me, myself, with my age, perhaps to rebrand ourselves, this related to personal branding, to rebrand ourselves, we need to really be really consistent about that. So I have built my brand as an educator, as a lecturer. So all of those related to it, it's already there. But if like by a sudden change, I want to be an artist, a painter, so I have to start again by shifting what brand that I have built to be an artist, to be known as an artist. So that will take a long time. But for you guys in your age, like Jason said, perhaps it will be easier for you to direct your goal, what kind of personal branding that you want to have, something like that. So it is possible, but it needs time, depending on how big your brand is right now, something like that.
And if I could add something on top of that, we also need to be careful about thinking that we know ourselves better than we know ourselves, right? Like I'm not the same person I was when I was 23. I was a hot mess when I was 23. I would cringe everywhere, right? So we shouldn't at this age and at this stage create our personal brands as if like, oh, I know exactly what my purpose is. I know exactly who I want to help. I know how I'm going to help them, right? And those questions which I gave you before, those are just starting points. So I think that a useful way to look at this as a young person is the same way that you look at, say, reading a book of fiction. Right. Oftentimes we read fiction as a way to learn about different ways of being in the world. Right. We identify with different characters in movies or in fiction to say, well, maybe I'm like that. Maybe I'm like that. Maybe I'm like that. And then in the space of a book, or when you go to the movie theater for 2 hours, you can suspend a willful suspension of disbelief, as Coleridge says, and you can sort of like, I can become the other. I can transport myself beyond myself, and I can try on these different identities, right? I can identify with these superheroes. I can think about different things that I want to do. And so in the same way, when you go to see a movie and you read a book, maybe you don't know what you like. Maybe you like so many things, and then you pay attention, you notice what you notice. Oh, I noticed this character. Why is it that I'm emotionally connected to this? Oh, because this is telling me something I already have inside myself. It's not creating me, it's revealing what is in me. So in the same way that you are experiencing, say, art and music and dance, and you go to those things in order to learn more about yourself, I believe that personal branding, your personal brand, can be a very creative way for you to try on different identities. Right? It's like, and the way that you're trying those out, because you got a little rowboat right now and you can hit it quickly, maybe it's a kayak, you're whitewater rafting. Okay. You can do that very quickly. And then you are paying attention to that rehearsal phase. Okay. How is the audience responding? And so maybe the audience doesn't respond to who you think you are, because it's not the audience's fault, because that's not who you are. And sometimes they know better than you know about yourself, or they were holding up a mirror to you. Okay. So I think that personal branding at this stage, yes, focused, yes, specific. At the same time, don't make it so static, and certainly don't let that box you in. But that becomes significantly harder as you say my age, which I won't tell you what that is right now. But as you get older, it becomes a little bit harder. You should kind of know who you are at a certain point. But at this stage, knock yourself out.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Alfe and Mr. Channing, for answering Medina's question. Is it clear enough, Medina? All right. I hope it's clear enough. And for me personally, it's really easy to understand, and it answers the questions. Oh, and we have another participant who wants to ask a questions again. There's Muhammad Akbar Zulkarnain has raised a hand here. Okay, Akbar, I guess your name.
Yes.
You
Can
may
I turn on my
unmute
camera?
yourself.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Okay. So thank you for the opportunity. My name is Muhammad Akbar Zulkarnain, but you can call me Mads. I'm a college student and a gamer as well. But first, I would like to say sorry I didn't appear in the previous sessions because I was so shy. But actually, I followed all your instructions, maybe even though maybe there were some questions that I didn't understand at all. But still, I keep it myself. But anyway, let's just jump to the question. So first, you explained a lot about social media in detail. But my question is, do you consider video games as social media? And could I build my personal branding through the game itself, or maybe the gamers community, or perhaps the esports community, because lately esports is recognized by the government, especially in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the questions. Really interesting. Maths. Okay, to Miss Alfe and Mr. Kenneth, time is on your side to answer the question.
All right, thank you, Nadifa. Thank you, Max, for the question. Wow, what game do you play? May I know?
Lately, I play Valorant a lot.
Okay. So if you ask about is it can it be considered as social media? To my perspective, I think yeah. I mean the purpose of social media is it is a kind of platform, a media which can help us connect with others, right? To socialize, and you do some socialization there. So yes, to my perspective, looking from that definition, it can be considered as social media, and of course you can brand yourself there as a gamer, as a professional gamer, perhaps, yeah, gamer and enthusiast, something like that. And yeah, does that answer your question? And if your career is related to that, I mean, let's say you in the future become some kind of game developer, for example, So yeah, I believe that could be a benefit for you. I hope that answers your question.
If I could just jump, what a great question, and thank you for becoming visible, right? So I was shy, and then now you're here. So like, congratulations, you are now a personal brand, right? So now I know you as a gamer. You're like, I'm here. You get this great background. You're smiling. You're very polite. You're very articulate. You asked a great question. So now we know who you are. You are a personal brand. We know that you are aligned with gaming. So on that level, yeah, why not? So listening to my 17-year-old teenage son, who is a gamer, right? I know that he has multiple conversations at night on his headset with other gamers, and they chat, and they viciously chat back and forth. So it's certainly it's a kind of social media. It's a bit different than others, but fundamentally and structurally, like, it is a place where people can connect through media and to exchange and communicate. So I think fundamentally it is social media. Now here's my, and this is just speculative, and it's a half-baked thought, and I'm just articulating this now because what a great question. I believe that gaming and gamers and what you're involved with, you are actually ahead of the times. Okay. I believe that what's happening in Web 3.0, what's happening in augmented reality and in virtual reality, and in these sort of mirror worlds and these sort of alternate sort of like places in order to interact in, they are going to be more closely aligned to the gamification that you have in gaming than to the way in which you operate in Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so I think that what Web 3.0 is going to look like is going to be a lot closer to what you're doing and a lot less close to what we're doing on sort of the primary channels I talked about today. So that being said, I think that if you keep following this path, you can actually start creating, right? Like what we're going to be doing in the future. And a really cool thing's happening right now that in Indonesia, like everyday kids are making lots of rupiah, right? Because they are actually live streaming their gaming into Facebook. So you have this great thing that's happening in this sort of gaming metaverse. Let's go ahead and call it a metaverse, right? And that's spilling back over into Facebook and Instagram, and everyday kids are making lots of money. And I think that's really great for a developing country.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kenneth and Ms. Alfe, for answering Matt's question. And also, thank you, Matt, for asking the very intriguing question. Is it clear to you? Does it answer your question?
Yes, it answers my question, and I hope it can help me in the future.
Okay, good luck on whatever you do. Okay, everyone. Well, a very interesting and interactive Q&A session. But unfortunately, I think we don't have enough much time here. We just have 4 minutes left for our virtual event. Thank you so much for everyone who is actively participating in this session. And also, of course, I thank our speakers for presenting such amazing and incredible materials about optimizing social media for personal branding. All right. Before I close this session, let's take a picture. Everyone, you may turn on your camera because
take a picture and then post it to LinkedIn so you can show off.
Yep, that's right.
Look at me, I'm smart.
Yes, I hope everyone can turn on the camera and post it on Instagram, on WhatsApp status, or on LinkedIn to share to people that we got so important information about our topic, very insightful and comprehensive. Okay, maybe I would like to ask Ichan for helping us to take the screenshot. Is it okay, Ichan?
All right, Nadiva.
Okay.
Okay, when I count from 3, on the count of 1, I will take the picture. All right, 3, 2, 1. Once more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Back to you, Nadiva.
All right. Thank you so much, Ichan, for taking the picture. Maybe later on, the committee can share the picture to all of us so we can reshare the picture to our social media in terms of optimizing it for our personal branding. Okay. Maybe for the last time, before I end this session, please can you give a big applause to the speaker by clapping your hand for the appreciation or give the reaction, Zoom reaction, so we can all see how excited you are. All right, their love. You're clapping your hand, you're giving the love. Thank you so much for the appreciation. Once again, thank you for joining with us today, for all the speakers and attendees. I hope this session gives you such a important and insightful information about our topics today. And if you don't mind, okay. The virtual event, Social Media Optimization for Personal Branding, has finished. I would like once again to express my appreciation and gratitude to our amazing speakers, Ms. Alfe and also Mr. Kenneth, for sharing the fascinating material, and for the attendees for your participation. And don't forget to click your attendance. Maybe Ichan can share again the attendance link and also the exit ticket, because your feedbacks are important to us for our improvement to for the next event. All right. As the MC and moderator, I also apologize for any mistakes. As our session has ended, you may leave the room and continue your activity this weekend. Once again, thank you so much for joining with us today. Good afternoon, everyone. Stay safe and keep healthy wherever you are.